Hey everyone, so in this video I'm going to be talking about my week 22 and 23 of this triplet pregnancy. So stay tuned to hear all about that. Okay everyone, so first off I just wanted to address a few things. Not saying I'm going to address all the questions or all the comments on all my videos, but I did want to correct something I said in my last video so you're not concerned. So in my last video I took you guys along on our trip to Ikea and showed you some of the baby things we are planning on buying. And first off, we did buy the high chairs, we did buy the boppy pillows, and we didn't end up getting the cribs this trip because it just wasn't going to be able to fit in our car, and we were also there for a long time, and we just were ready to get out of there. So anyway, but we are planning on getting those cribs. But you know, even though Charlotte is like an hour and a half away from us, but my parents are going to be coming to visit soon, and so they actually drive through Atlanta, Georgia to come see us, and there's an Ikea there, so they said that they would be able to pick them up for us on their way. So anyway, those were the main things really that we wanted to buy there, and we didn't really get anything else baby wise. We did get some other items for our house and some items for Casey's work office, but overall that was all the baby stuff we got. We didn't get the covers for the boppy pillow thing. We just got it how it comes with the gray cover. We didn't get the extra cover with like the bunnies on it and stuff. We just got them all gray. I like gray, so it worked out. But anyway, just to tell you that, and also wanted to update you that some people had corrected in the comments that the yellow sign on the price for certain Ikea items doesn't necessarily mean they're not going to be making those items anymore. They were saying that it means that it's like the lowest price of those items or something like that. And I did ask someone when I was there what that, if that meant that they weren't going to be making them, and they said it just depends. They said it could be, but it just depends on the item. But I don't think any of you have to be in fear that they're not going to be selling that crib anymore, or even the $20 high chair anymore either. So I think they're going to keep those around for a while because they're pretty popular. But anyway, just wanted to let you know that you don't need to like rush over to Ikea, which could be far away for some of you because there's not Ikeas everywhere, to get those cribs if you really want them. So wanted to say that. I'm going to go ahead and hop into just symptoms that I've noticed in the past 2 weeks. I'm actually currently 24 weeks in 1 day. So this will be covering my week 22 and 23 things that I noticed that were kind of different, and there were some things that definitely stood out. So first off, this is a big one, and that is Braxton Hicks contractions. So I was having them kind of very irregular, like where it's just, I noticed that, oh wow, my stomach is like really hard. And it's always pretty firm, and I don't know if it's just because I've got 3 babies in there, and just, but it's like significantly harder than what it is normally. And it's like I can kind of feel that it's happening, like I kind of feel the sensation in my body that something's happening. It doesn't hurt at all, but it contracts. And then we went to Ikea, and also when Casey's parents were here, we were also walking around, not a ton, but we did go to this like farmer's market in our town, and we walked around, and then we went to eat lunch, and then we did some walking after that at this really nice trail you can walk along the river that we love to go to. And at the time I didn't really think anything of it. I knew, we weren't going to be walking for a long time and not going to be walking fast. And, they kind of just said, yeah, whenever you want to turn around. And so I was like, yeah, not necessarily like I want to turn around, but I probably should turn around. It wasn't like, oh, I'm so exhausted, but it was just like, yeah, that's probably enough. I don't need to do too much. But, I hadn't really heard a lot from my doctor at that point yet that, I really needed to cut back on activity. And, it's not like super strenuous. It was just walking, but still, like that you can walk too much especially when you're expecting triplets. So, I was feeling them some then, and then when we dropped them off at the airport in Charlotte and went to Ikea, we were there for probably 3 hours. And, I wasn't walking constantly. There were 2 times that I sat down. And it wasn't really like I felt like I needed to sit down, but it was just like, I'm pregnant with triplets. I need to remember this, so let me go sit down and just rest for a little while. So then after that day is really when they picked up, and that evening they were just happening pretty frequently. And then the next morning they were still happening frequently. I was estimating, I wasn't timing them, but I was estimating they were every like 20, 30 minutes. And so I just called the doctor and just talked to my nurse. And she said that, just to drink a bunch of water, up my intake of water. She said to take a Tylenol, that can help. It wasn't painful at all, so it wasn't for pain. It was just to help relax the uterus. And then also to, definitely not go to Ikea for 3 hours, and just really take it easy and put my feet up, recline, things like that, and just see if they start to slow down. And she said to, as long as they're not like, I think happening like 5 minutes apart, if they're longer than 5 minutes apart, that's good. But, but also I still want to see them decrease, like not even. So anyway, I started timing them that day, and they were like 15 minutes apart. So they're a little closer than I had thought. I think one time it was even 10 minutes. But then, they have started to slow down. I have really upped my water. I mean, I've always drank, a good amount of water, I felt like, but I've just been like, I'm just going to go all out here, and I don't care that I'm peeing all the time. Just, want to prevent anything from happening that could cause these babies to come early. So that was a big thing. Things have slowed down. I still have them. And I do notice, if I'm standing, cooking, I try not to, do that for too long, like cook something that's going to take hours to cook or something. I think it's just things like that, just, not standing for too long. And I do notice when I do that, and even when I, sometimes when I stand up, I'll just notice, oh, well, there it is. Or, even when sitting down, it'll happen sometimes. But they definitely are less frequent and more kind of random. And I do feel like when I'm reclined and relaxed, it's not really happening. So every once in a while it might, but yeah. Anyway, so just wanted to say that was a scare. I actually will insert right now because I went to the doctor this morning. So I'll just insert that here so you can see just what they said about everything, what they said about the babies, and what they said about those contractions. And, if it was affecting things, like if it was, my big concern was like, is it causing my cervix to thin out, open up, whatever, causing things to get into motion? So I'll insert that here. Hey guys, so I just am now leaving the doctor's office where I saw my maternal fetal medicine doctor, and I just wanted to update you guys on what they said. And, just the concern that I had of the Braxton Hicks contractions I was having, and just wanting to see, if that was affecting anything. But thankfully everything looks really good. The babies look great. Baby B and C are measuring right together. They're both 1 pound, 8 ounces. And then baby A is a little bit behind. Usually baby A is behind and measuring at 1 pound, 4 ounces. But they said that there's no concern that they see right now in that whole twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome. So they look great, and they measure the fluid and all that stuff in the sacs. That's also something big they measure to see that symptoms of that syndrome, and that looks wonderful. So anyway, I'm very thankful. And also, just it was a concern, they actually told me that they weren't going to check my cervix today because I am 24 weeks and 1 day, but I was telling them about the Braxton Hicks contractions and just if they could check it, because I'm just wondering if it's affecting anything. And they were like, oh yeah, we'll definitely do that. So they checked it, and it's like really is the same as it was. It's like almost 4 centimeters long. So I'm very thankful for that. And, you know, they have encouraged me just to be careful about my activity and just to really slow things down. And, you know, if I'm going to the grocery store or need to go shopping for something, just not to be like walking around more than about 30 minutes or so. So just kind of make those trips shorter and all of that. So just to be mindful of that, and just to try to, you know, keep my feet up when I sit down, and yeah, just not lift anything heavy, of course. I mean, that's kind of been from the beginning. I haven't been doing that, but I feel like it's not too different than what I'm doing, you know, currently. After I started getting those Braxton Hicks, I was like, okay, slowing it way down. Anyway, just wanted to give you guys an update on how the appointment went. Okay, so moving on to some other symptoms, just a few things. A couple of days ago, I was sneezing and a little pee came out both times that I sneezed. So that was kind of like, oh, this is happening. I'm actually kind of peeing myself. Now, I feel like it hasn't happened since then. So I don't know if I've been kind of more like when I need to sneeze or cough or something, you know, I've been kind of like tightening things down there and kind of even holding my lower belly, and just that seems to be helping. So, and also just continually like going to the bathroom, like it's not really like, oh, I went just like 15 minutes ago, but I kind of feel like I need to go again, so I'm just gonna go. And it's not like I'm going every 15 minutes all the time, but sometimes it feels like that. But anyway, so that was something new that I hadn't experienced yet, which just, you know, sneezing and peeing a little bit. But anyway, also just, yeah, like I said, peeing more frequently. I mean, part of that is due to my increase in water intake. Part of that is due to my belly growing very big. And I will show you it for sure. So just at the end of this video, I will show you my belly. But those are really the big things. I have had some, you know, back pain a little bit here and there. It hasn't been too bad. The heartburn is, I would say, getting more consistent, where especially when I lay down at night, it's like I feel like there's all this gas that comes up too, and I'm like burping a lot, and it's like I lay down, maybe not every single night, but almost every night, like, and it's almost like you can hear the bubbles like coming up, and even Casey can hear it. So it's just like, it's weird, and it's like it kind of takes a while to get there, it feels like, and then I'll like burp. But anyway, so I think the heartburn thing has been, and sometimes it's fine, sometimes there's some acid, but yeah, I've been taking, I actually have this here because I'm in our bedroom right now, but it's all ripped open so you can't really see, but it's like a papaya enzyme kind of thing, but it has like, you know, yeah, it's all torn up, so finding the ingredients is kind of hard, but you know, it does have calcium carbonate, and it has cornstarch, but it has like the papaya enzyme and amylase, protease, so just things to help you digest. And it is helpful. It really does help. So I take that, and then it really just pretty much goes away. There's some nights where maybe it just gets less. It doesn't completely go away, but most nights it completely goes away. So I'm very thankful for that. And yeah, those are really the big things, you know, just noticing limitations in my physical, you know, bending over to get something is really not something I try to avoid at all cost. And usually if I do need to bend over, I don't necessarily bend over, I squat and then pick something up. But really trying not to, you know, sometimes I'll notice a contraction when I do that. So I'm like, I'm really trying not to, you know, put too much stress on that area. And so, but yeah. So those are really the big things that stood out. And I will say my weight gain, I've gained 22 pounds since the beginning. So, you know, and they haven't said that that's you know, not enough or too much. They just said, yeah, you're gaining weight appropriately. So I know there is that book I think I mentioned in another video that said to gain like 59 to 75 pounds with triplets. And I mean, I may end up doing that, but I don't know if I'm going to, you know, be able to gain that much. But they're not concerned. My doctors are not concerned. So, you know, that's good. I also don't have any swelling, thankfully. So I think I might have mentioned in my last video that I had some swelling in my hands from walking, but yeah, I really don't really have any swelling, and no swelling in my ankles or feet. My feet are not like, you know, too tight for my shoes yet or anything. I don't know if that's gonna start happening, but anyway. So yeah, those are the big things. Let me show you the belly, the bump, and here it is. So yeah, it's definitely sticking out a lot more. Bright light. So here's what it looks like. I don't know if you can really tell, I'm kind of close to the camera, but it's definitely, I definitely have that line now, and my belly button is completely flat. It hasn't really poked out much yet, but yeah, I'm definitely getting very large. So yeah, it's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger, but very thankful for it. That means babies are growing and having the space they need, and yeah, thankful for that. All right, guys, well, I will see you in the next video. Bye.